please? Kiss me.
Greetings and salutations. This is Cage's Kiss, the ultimate Cage cast, where we discuss each of the National Treasure's cinematic masterpieces and his life. We also try to glean whatever kernels of wisdom we can from his characters that week. I'm Linda Castro, but you can call me Goat.
I'm Adrian, and you could call me Dreamy.
And I'm Donnie. You can call me the Don.
God damn it.
Gee, Pokey, do you think we should walk through that book?
Can we call you Lucky Donnie?
You can call me Count Cockula.
Oh, God.
Oh, blood, I want to suck your blood. It's 1960. Why are we talking like this, Linda?
Because today we're discussing what's been described as the female version of Back to the Future, the movie that was a pivotal point in the National Treasure's career, Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yay.
Do you guys want to give a little summary of the movie for those who have not seen it and do not wish to?
Well, first, I'd like to say this is our third Coppola movie. Very excited about this.
Oh, shit. And our final.
This is also our first profitable Cage movie since Valley Girl. It was been a long time coming.
Yeah.
It's been a long time
getting from there to here.
Don't put me in the Count Bacula zone.
More Cockula.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Peggy Sue Got Married is a Kathleen Turner comedy thingy from 1986, in which she's the lady who goes to her 25th high school reunion, and she's in the process of divorcing her husband, Nicolas Cage, who does TV commercials for his electronics store. And they were high school sweethearts, and the high school reunion brings back painful memories, and she passes out and goes back in time to 1960, where she's a girl in high school again and considers changing everything.
Well, that's about it. It was made in 1986, as Adrian... 1986. The writers were Jerry Leichtling. I hope I'm saying that, but who fucking cares?
I'm sure you are. Yeah.
Sorry, Jerry. If you're listening, come for us. Come for us, man.
I'm going to kill you all.
And Arlene Sarner. The budget was $18 million estimated. And it grossed about $41.4 million.
$41 million
in the U.S.
I'd like to point out that budget went entirely to the absolutely seamless old aging makeup they did, which put Prometheus to shame.
You could say that.
So this was released on October 10th of 1986. It came out the same day as Wes Craven's Deadly Friend.
Oh shit! I remember that one.
And as Jumpin' Jack Flash, Whoopi Goldberg's big breakout.
I remember seeing that.
It actually outgrows Jumpin' Jack Flash.
I remember seeing that after it came out.
What, Deadly Friend?
Yeah, since...
Oh wait, because you're 24?
Yeah, we're all 24, right?
All of us.
Yeah, it was playing on TV.
I was 38 when I saw it.
I was getting my dentures, and then I saw Deadly Friend.
Oh, but at this time...
The Jumpin' Jack Flash connection is twofold, by the way.
How so?
Well, before Coppola was on board, Penny Marshall was slated to direct this.
Right, and...
with Deborah Winger to star, and then Penny Marshall had creative differences with the producers, and Deborah Winger left as well. And then Penny Marshall went on to direct Jumpin' Jack Flash.
I read that Deborah Winger was first attached, but then, and she's the one who brought in Penny Marshall as the director, but... That's
right, yeah. And then they were like, this is getting too big for you, this to be your first film, Penny Marshall.
Because they totally nutsacked out.
Yeah. It's fine, though. I mean...
Yeah. Sure.
Deborah Winger, by the way, instead of doing this movie, did Legal Eagles with Robert Redford, which is shit.
Well, I heard that she pulled out because, because she had a back injury. But
I didn't read that, but maybe it's true.
Hey, who knows? But yeah, I'm sure she's very happy that she ended up doing Legal Eagles instead.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
What were you saying before I derailed you, Linda?
Oh, no, sorry. It was through this movie that he met and befriended Jim Carrey. And they both felt like they were trapped in the hotel where they were they were bunked up in while they were filming.
So they did pharmaceutical grade cocaine.
Well,
Yes.
I read that they had pulled a bunch of pranks, and so I translated that to be lines of coke. I mean,
Okay.
what else could that possibly mean?
Jim Carrey's
I'm going
worried
to do a
about
line of
side
coke off your cock.
That's funny.
It's not gay if you're really stoned.
Smoking.
Oh, Jim Carrey.
Sorry, Jesus.
But Jim Carrey,
Humiliator.
woman. Jim Carrey had a lot to say about Nicolas Cage. He said, quote, Nick is representative of the Picasso form of acting. He doesn't mind putting the two eyes on one side of the face, end quote. I think that's putting it lightly. But
The song Eyes Without a
Yeah.
Face was based on Cage.
I still am waiting to find out from either of you if it was a creative choice by the director or Cage to give him a voice where his testicles
Oh,
hadn't
no, that
dropped
was
yet
Cage. No,
that was-
when
that
he
was
in
Cage.
the-
that was full
That
on
was Cage all
Cage.
the
But
way.
and I will be getting into that.
Coppola didn't want it, and they tried to fire him over it.
Yeah. And, I will be getting into that though. But
Please do.
I support the Pokey voice.
you know, like it sounds like it was really annoying while filming, but like, I mean,
I'm sure it was.
yeah, I mean, I bet a lot of people, well, I don't have to bet. I know a lot of people were pissed, but like watching it now, it's like,
It works.
yeah,
Especially with the character, the lines coming out of that mouth make sense with that voice. You know,
yeah.
I got the hair, I got the teeth, I got the eyes, I got the car. I'm the lead
Singer,
singer.
I'm the
the
man.
man, Peggy Sue.
But Jim Carrey also said that, quote, when we first hung out, he was a little crazy, a little frivolous, raw emotions coming out of everywhere with a lot of anger. He was occasionally embarrassing to be around. Everybody in my life has whispered in my ear at one point, he has a lot of talent, but what the fuck is he doing? End quote. And let me just say, when Jim Carrey says that you're embarrassing,
I was gonna
to be
say.
around and a little
That's real
frivolous,
talent right there.
you got something.
I'm a social pariah, Nick Cage.
I hung out with the Wayans brothers on purpose, but still.
you got to take a good hard look in the mirror. But yeah, so but you know, they were really good close friends. I don't know if that's still the case because
After Carrey screwed Cage out of the part in Man on the Moon.
yeah. According to oh god, why am I forgetting his name?
Tucker Carlson.
You can see my hairpiece through the phone. I just know it.
No, what the fuck is his name? Who was involved with Man on the Moon, and god damn it. Donnie, just enter some hold music here.
Dun,
Da,
dun,
da,
dun,
da,
dun,
da,
My balls are eggshell soft in my hands.
What?
Was that my beard or my nuts? You don't know, but I know.
What is happening?
Oh, now I'm like that black chick on the Howard Stern show.
Okay, I've got it.
Racist.
I listen to whole music for a living.
Her name
by
is
the way.
Robin.
I'll put that out there.
Yeah, I'd like to apologize for Adrian.
I would
right
also
now.
like to apologize for Adrian right now.
You're right. I shouldn't have said chick. That's offensive.
So,
How many times have I told you boys not to call broads chicks?
according to the racist comedic legend Tony Clifton, the producers of Man on the Moon put out a call to a bunch of different actors for the lead role, and they wanted them to send in an audition reel. And Jim Carrey and Nick Cage were both considering going for the movie, but Jim Carrey failed to mention that to Nick Cage and told Nicholas instead,
You're so good. You don't need to audition.
exactly. He said that you're better than that. You don't need to audition. So he didn't send in an audition reel, and fucking Jim Carrey got the part. So, I mean, are they still friends? I don't know, but I sure as fuck wouldn't want to be his friend after that. Who knows?
Just to ground people in your Jim Carrey timeline that I know you all keep at home. Jim Carrey is appearing in this film after his appearance in Once Bitten.
Oh,
and right before he was in the Deadpool, where he lip syncs Guns N' Roses, and Guns N' Roses have a cameo. You know, with all that going for it, you think that would have been a better movie, but it wasn't even. Yeah,
it's an interesting clip, at least.
Yeah, I mean, like you can pretty much stop watching after that part, though. The rest of the movie isn't worthwhile.
But apparly,
but Nicolas Cage isn't in it.
Further proves that whatever Walter wants, Walter
gets.
I demand a recount.
But apparently, Francis Ford Coppola approached Nicolas Cage about playing Charlie, but Nicolas turned him down 4 times. Finally, Nick asked
I'm not a beefcake anymore.
Which clearly Charlie was. But he asked if he could do it, could he change his voice? And he said, you know, he's just going to change the voice a bit. And Francis Ford Coppola asked him like how different he wanted to go, and he said he wanted to talk.
A way different woman.
Yeah, humiliator. And he said that he wanted to talk like Pokey from the Gumby show.
Nailed it.
So Francis, being maybe a little naive, said that they should wait to see what happens in rehearsals. And Nicolas Cage said, quote, "So I started doing this way out voice and people were rolling their eyes and saying, what the hell is going on? If anything, Kathleen Turner was frustrated with me." Frustrated, yeah, sure. Here she is in this great star vehicle directed by a great director, and her leading man comes along with buck teeth and ultra blonde hair talking like Pokey from the Gumby show. I can understand why she might be pissed off. Kathleen Turner came over and said, "You know, a film is a permanent record. Be careful what you do." End quote.
Dun, dun,
And
dun.
it is, and it's awesome.
And according to Jim Carrey, the producers would frequently get pissed off, and you know, because he's doing this crazy character. And Francis Ford Coppola had the producers over for spaghetti to calm them down.
Have some of our spaghetti.
I'm a Coppola.
But apparently Kathleen Turner had to go over for spaghetti a couple goddamn times. She was
Maybe if I stuff her with carbs, she'll shut up.
She was constantly complaining that he was ruining the movie, and according to an interview with Vulture, she said that she decided to approach his character in a way that explained her cynicism with the past.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
But at the time, while they were filming this, Cage was reading a book on Edvard Munch, who,
nice.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist and better known for his painting The Scream.
And for leaving paintings out in the woods to rot.
Really?
Yeah, he'd do that on purpose. Some of his paintings weren't for humans. He'd nail them up on trees in the forest.
I kind of fucking love that.
As you do.
Yeah, he's a punk. He was the original punk.
Yeah. But he was reading a book about Edvard Munch and how people were criticized for their art. And he said, quote, "I welcome the idea of bad reviews because they mean that would mean I was doing something that would challenge the critics. I thought that I could change acting, which isn't really a goal anymore, but at the time I was headstrong."
You know, based on some of the recent Cage films we've seen, I bet he was no stranger to the bad reviews.
Right? Yeah. He said that he'd be miserable if he didn't get them. And he actually cut them out. Like, I could just imagine him scrapbooking these negative reviews.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's fucking great. And you know, honestly, I mean, you know, it might be a little controversial to say, but I think it fucking worked in this character.
Yeah, no.
But I could see why nobody would want to work with him after this.
I like the fact that he would do things to destabilize his other cast members, though. Like, I feel like sometimes that's necessary. You know, because if somebody
How
gets
else to promote your career other than to sabotage it?
Yeah. He did that Left Behind remake.
Oh God.
Gotta get rat when you
I'm gonna have to start getting drunk now.
We'll get into more detail later when we get to our face-off segment, but I would like to say that up for the part of Charlie that Cage has in this film, Steve Guttenberg was considered.
Yes, the Goots.
And he actually went down and auditioned, but apparently he blew the audition just spending the whole time asking Coppola about The Godfather.
Yeah.
Like, he just kept saying, he's like, so what was that like, huh?
What is so amazing?
No spaghetti for you.
Right? And Dennis Quaid was offered the part, but turned it down.
For the Big Easy.
Yeah, the Big Easy.
I think the best part about the Steve Guttenberg story is that he talks about it in his book, The Gutenberg Bible.
I saw that. And I'm like, Gutenberg.
The Goots. But we won't get into that.
The Bedroom Window with Elizabeth McGovern.
Oh, but apparently when Penny Marshall was attached to it, she also met with Tom Hanks and your boy, Sean Penn.
Yeah. Hanks cast.
Bosom Buddies. But let's see.
Have I had sex with anyone here tonight? Let me go on record to say that the best Tom Hanks movie ever is still Bachelor Party.
I'll allow it.
Come on, Donnie. You know you're on board with that.
No, I can't.
Oh, Green Mile Man, huh? All right.
Bachelor Party had
had
Oingo
Big
Boingo
is
on
still
there.
in my heart.
Or what?
Big is still in my heart because we saw that around the same time we saw Back to School.
There's nothing wrong with Big.
So are you looking forward to the movie Little?
I'm going to talk about today's movie a little bit. So, I'd like to say right now, this movie, really good looking movie. Cinematographer was fucking Jordan Cronenweth. You might know Jordan Cronenweth. He's dead for one thing. But among the other, okay, so he photographed.
So you might know him as your dead friend.
As your dead friend. He photographed Altered States for Ken Russell.
Oh shit.
He did Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh.
Rolling Thunder with William Devane.
God damn.
And fucking Blade Runner.
Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, this is shot by the guy who shot Blade Runner, Jordan Cronenweth. He was actually slated to do Alien 3, but he actually took ill and died before before he was able to.
God damn.
Which is still a good looking movie even without him.
Yeah,
but so that's one of the reasons why, because this is Coppola doing what Coppola usually does. Like it's a very balls out, like
making half a movie.
But in terms of the production, in terms of what you get on the screen, it's really balls out. Like he's doing all his little tricks. It's all the costumes, all the sets, all the cars. And it just looks great.
All the Helen Hunt.
and all the Helen Hunt being only 9 years younger than Kathleen Turner. But
speaking of which, Jim Carrey at the time of filming was 24 years old. Nick Cage was 22, and Kathleen Turner was 32.
Yeah.
Yes.
Helen Hunt. This is between her appearance in Trancers and Project X.
Ooh,
Trancers.
Trancers is fucking awesome.
Oh.
Dry hairs for squids.
Don't die yet.
I suppose that we should probably talk about Kathleen Turner's book incident.
Vagina. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's get into that because there's sort of the onset drama with this one.
Okay, and please understand, fucking Kathleen Turner is queen. Okay, I have got nothing
amazing.
but love for Kathleen Turner.
She was in Body Heat.
Yeah. And Romancing the Stone.
And Crimes of Passion.
Especially
Also by
Romancing
Ken
the
Russell.
Stone.
And My Dreams.
Wait, what was that, Donnie?
Especially Romancing the Stone.
Wait. No Love for Jewel of the Nile?
That's an appear all of its own.
When the going gets tough, get going. Tough.
Now, she recently wrote a memoir.
It was about 10 years ago now.
Okay, recently.
I picked it up yesterday when it came out.
We were only 14 at the time, so, we didn't pick it up at the time. But
What? I voted for George Herbert Walker Bush.
Yeah, I picked it up. I just went to my local lodge and they helped me go back in time.
Yeah, that one time that Grandpa Don took us to his lodge, I do not remember us going back in time.
Poker and stag films.
That might
right?
have been a Cosby memory, but we can get back to Kathleen Turner.
I only
Speaking
remember
of time
snippets
travel, by
of
the
it.
way, the chick from Star Trek 4 is in this someplace.
Oh,
That Jillian lady, who was also in Child's Play.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
she's one of those ladies. They all have the same big hair, but you let them go without me even saying goodbye to them? Jillian, you son of a bitch!
So you were saying about drama.
Drama.
Oh, the onset Kathleen Turner drama.
Yeah, so
What happened with that permanent record?
she wrote in her memoir that Nicolas Cage had been arrested a couple times and had stolen a chihuahua. And
Why didn't he steal Ajax the dog?
Indeed. Not Elvis.
Well, he's stealing dogs. Elvis is dead.
But yeah, so Nicolas Cage said, "Oh, what?" And he took her to court over it and got her to publicly apologize. So
Well, either he did or his agent or lawyers did.
somebody did. I don't
With
see how
celebrities, it's not always easy picking out where that originated from.
Honestly though, like I don't know why anybody would give a shit. Like even if it's
Well, I don't
not
know why
true.
Jim Carrey was a wild and crazy like young '80s star. Like it's just par for the course. Like and
I don't get why
Actors get
someone would
arrested.
call their dog Ajax.
because Ajax was here. You see that shit over
Well,
there?
maybe he wanted to call it cocaine, but like
Cocaine!
No, we'll just call it Ajax.
You do
Close
enough
enough.
Ajax and you could drill your own teeth.
I can't stop grinding.
I
them.
mean, even if it's not true, I mean, who gives a shit? I mean, if the worst thing you could say about him is that he stole a chihuahua, like I'm
A chihuahua.
a chihuahua. But also on another note, Joan Allen was also in this, and she ends up being in Face Off with him, which we shall
Hell yeah.
visit eventually. Now,
It hasn't been recovered yet?
oh, God damn it.
Crossover with Travolta cast. If they exist, we gotta call them up.
Now, oh, God damn it. Please let's not. Please let's. Like, I would rather do a Nick Cave cast.
Oh, and the bad seeds. Don't forget about them.
Oh.
Motherfucking Stagger Lee. Mr. Stagger Lee.
I actually could do a Nick Cave cast. I'd be totally okay with that. But yeah,
He
anyway.
was in Johnny Suede.
And he's apparently worked with Neil Gaiman. So, I mean, hey.
All right.
Anyway, what did you guys think about the movie?
Donnie didn't
it
seem
was
too into it.
okay until Coppola'd it.
He Coppolated all kinds. It's his only good 80s movie.
Yeah,
As near as I can tell.
Um,
I mean, I like One from the Heart.
yeah.
I actually
I
enjoyed
haven't seen
it.
Gardens of Stone.
I was kind of curious why. It's like, okay, I understand why she was upset with Cage, but everything else that led up, like him being there, I would have understood if she was pissed off. But instead, she's acting like this is the most traumatic thing, as well as being at this high school, that could possibly happen to her in her life. Like she was having a full-on freaking PTSD attack right then and there.
Well, I think she had a heart attack,
it's
didn't
like-
she? Or like a heart event.
Well, the movie was an event.
Well, that was the explanation for
But-
her coming out of her time travel after passing out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, she had an idyllic, 1960s high school experience, and everybody was hopeful and bright-eyed, and real life came crashing down, and, that's always pretty rough.
Well, yeah, speaking of, what was with the fucking creepers? I mean, I can't remember who the character was supposed to be.
Sophia
Was it supposed to be
Coppola?
the poet? No, the one with the porn stash. The geek. I think.
Oh,
It's like he's like, you
wait,
are always so kind to
Oh.
me. It's like, is that when he's like, you'll be the one I let live before I start shooting this place
it
up?
kind of sounded that way. Where
Norvik.
it's like, yeah, every dog has its day. Just saying.
Yeah, it's like that's what you
It's
say.
been 25
as
years,
you're
but I
polishing up
never
your
forget that
rifle.
you wronged me.
Which also was a theme I noticed in this movie, is that at one point I put down a note that when later on in the movie, when Nicolas Cage decides to creep into her room, he's literally doing a creeper walk and
Yeah.
even twiddling his fingers
I think he
evilly.
was going for like a Nosferatu thing.
Yeah, it's like maybe this is a lead into Vampire's Kiss, which he eventually does
You
later
notice
on.
though
Oh,
that
shit.
as obnoxious as this character is, and the fact that he actually does abduct her at one point, this is actually the most respectful Cage character so far.
But this is what's weird though, because this is again with the theme of weirdness with that guy making the creepy comments, is that he goes to her bedroom and he contemplates for no fucking reason out of the blue because she went with a poet to one date to smother her with a pillow. And then he's like,
Oh, yeah.
hey, I need to talk to you. Let's go in the
Oh
basement.
yeah, that was full on
Alone.
creeper.
That's
I
a
was
great way
just
to
like,
wake someone
oh,
up.
like,
And even
once again, it's like, oh, this is turning into a horror movie. Okay, all right.
yeah, and then it's like it's
Alright.
back to being funny, lighthearted, but then when he later on in the movie abducts her when she's trying to get back to her time, they have a talk. He says, "Look, I canceled all this shit. I got my dad's business. I even gave up tickets to Fabian."
He thought
And then
they were
she's like,
going
"Nah,
to
fuck
vaporize
it."
her.
She's like, "I don't care." And he immediately starts getting that dark Anakin turning to the dark side voice. It's like, is he going to kill her? And I actually thought, because I hadn't seen this movie fully until now, I was like, is that how she goes back to her time? Is
also
like
my
the
first
nerd was
time,
right and she has to die?
Watching this actually,
Oh.
this
Boy.
is my first time seeing all of Peggy Sue Got Married. Because the only thing I'd
shit.
ever seen before is years ago on AMC. I saw the scene where he talks about time being a burrito.
Yeah.
And then I had
was like,
something
I
else to
remember
do.
my
And then it
sister and
makes
my
me
dad
hungry.
watching this, but I just totally dismissed this.
What can you
this
fill
was a
the
first for
burrito
me, and That's
with?
why my girlfriend Lucille watched it with me, because we're like, well, it sounds interesting. Let's watch it together, and it was something.
I have to say, even though it's a comedy, between the photography, the emotive John Barry score, and Kathleen Turner's performance, like this thing, I really got the emotive feels from this thing quite frequently.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, and to the point where I actually forgot I was doing a comedy, probably because, like, have you ever had that dream where you go back to being young?
Yeah,
Like, I've had it a few times. It makes me sad as fuck.
Oh
It
god,
is.
yeah.
It's kind of depressing, but that's why I really liked her take on this, because it was like a combination of what Bill Murray did in Groundhog Day and a bit of Back to the Future.
Groundhog Day, which
Where-
Bill
well,
Murray
not
wanted
really
to be
even-
more of a serious product too, actually, but he didn't get his
Oh.
way, which is part of why he.
Thank
Which is
God.
kind of funny, because it even draws more of a comparison between Groundhog Day and the original Back to the Future with Crispin Glover in
Right.
that version, where it was a more darker film. Like, no, fuck it, we need this to be more of a comedy. And if you're saying Bill Murray was like, no, I want to be more serious, no, fuck you, we're making this a comedy.
Bill,
It's like,
Bill
they
Murray,
both work for those exact
despite
changes.
being a comedic actor, like he's one of those guys who always sort of has those pretentious aspirations. He only did Ghostbusters because they allowed him
Yeah.
to do The Razor's Edge, the Somerset
Mm.
Mom.
Well, he's also a pretentious prick, so I mean, there's that too.
but he's Bill Murray and he's got some serious delirium, Mr. Murray.
That motherfucker would not shave his hair for any fucking thing in
Right,
stripes, and those god-blessed souls did. And he's like, my hair, that's what people
Yeah,
know me
but
for.
Donnie,
I can't do that.
Donnie, he was Garfield.
Fuck Garfield.
And Lorenzo
Fuck
Music
Garfield
was the
and
voice
fuck Bill Murray.
of Bankman on the real Ghostbusters animated series,
Oh.
which I love. That's my goddamn childhood.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Fucking Ghostbusters.
I
My
mean,
childhood
reruns
was
of it,
Ghostbusters,
obviously.
and it was Back to the Future.
Hell yeah.
I just,
So
I don't
maybe
know.
I
This
should be
movie
pissed
was
off
funny.
that this movie was made. It's like, fuck you for making a grown-up Back to the Future, you dinguses. But no, I
Well, yeah,
liked
that's
it.
what's kind of funny. It's like I like that. It's like it's really Kathleen Turner. The way she was in this was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I love the shit she threw. All the shade she threw at Nick Cage. It's totally justified with the story, and it's amazing.
She also gets really
But
into
it's
her
still
roles.
kinda wonky.
Like
Yeah.
she's also really method. Like during filming this, she actually kept having nightmares about her grandma dying because of this. And when I watched that, I was
The-
like, holy fuck, and I almost paused it and called my grandparents.
Yeah.
Well, something that made me kind of laugh, and I know again it's just going into cliches of movies at that time, is like, I get the whole thing. She goes back, she hates him because he hurt her, and she doesn't want to be with him. But she's, at the same time, while trying to change things, she's also learning more about him. And it's like, okay, she's kind of seeing there's more to him. Maybe she can forgive him.
Yeah, that's like half of it is her coming to understand like why it happened in the first place.
Yes.
And then like
yes.
and she keeps mentioning her kids, and it really comes home at the end when she gets the locket again, and she realizes like, wait a minute, like if this didn't happen, then that didn't happen.
Exactly, and that's something I really appreciated, because some time travel movies don't even go into that. It's like somehow when people go and change their life, they still have their kids. Like, that's not how fucking sex works.
One thing that...
What you want to talk about that kind of shit, the worst offender is probably the fucking butterfly effect. Remember that fucking shit?
Oh, God damn it. I think we all try to block it out.
I'm gonna put my hands on these letter spikes, and the only complication will be that I now have scars on my hands. And it will affect nothing else about my life, even though I called my teacher's attention to it.
The one thing that bothered me in this is, out of all of that, as much as I liked it, it's still the logic behind it killed me when she comes back and Nick Cage is beside her at the hospital, and he still cheated on her. It still happened. But then it's like he decides to joke about the mistress, about how stupid she was, that he had to explain who the Big Bopper is. It's like, oh yes, let's laugh and chuckle about the chick who rode your dick that wasn't me.
That sounds like a song.
Because that's what happens.
The chick who rode your dick who wasn't me. Ooh ah, ooh ah.
Cha cha cha.
Ooh ah, ooh ah. Well, what's she like? Oh, well, she's kind of pretty, and she got her hair just like this.
I want to replace the yeahs with ooh ah, ooh ah.
You're proud of young lady. I'm gonna go to Liverpool and discover the Beatles.
Was that like she goes back in time, even if it was just a dream, but like she decides to help out only men. Like she tries to help out Charlie by giving him a Beatles song.
Help, in an earlier version of the script, she tries to prevent the gymnast lady in the wheelchair from getting in the wheelchair. But
and I wish that they would have kept that in, because like they also had that storyline where she creates pantyhose. And I'm thinking, like,
yes,
you couldn't have like given, you know, one of your female friends the pantyhose or something, or like given your friends some advice. I don't know, like, it just seemed really dickish. Like she was just helping Richard, what's his face, and like the nerd.
Well, that's something that Lucille actually brought up, and I appreciate it, because I thought the same thing. Was she said this whole movie basically came down to, she admitted in the reunion regretting not sleeping with the poet, so she does, and that's all she achieved.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I got my dick.
She got a dedication in a book. Famous.
She helped the nerd become even more rich, and he was going to get rich anyway, and he was going to invent a bunch of shit, so like, why give him more? And then besides that, she also rides Michael's dick. And like that's it. Oh, and he dedicates a book to her. Like
I mean, this movie makes no pretension about curing classism or anything like that.
No,
but
because it's still an idyllic 1950s.
I did
enjoy.
Well,
at least it did teach her the valuable lesson that penis, stay away from.
Yeah,
you know what a penis is, Peggy Sue.
You know, penis, the throbbing thrill hammer, the Lucky Chuck.
You mean my quang?
I fucking love that whole scene where he's like, way to ruin the mood. He's like, that's a guy line, Peggy Sue. But this is the thing. This is what I like about Charlie, though, is that he comes back later and he's taking inventory and he's like, thinking about it, I guess girls must get that way sometimes too. I mean, you guys mature faster. I'm sorry, Peggy Sue. It's like, oh my God, he's so sweet. No wonder she married him.
Yes, and
yeah, he's constantly telling her to shut up too, and it's like, oh, you silly women,
humiliate her.
Yeah, why?
But I really enjoyed the Dolores character, who's supposed to be a slutty bitch.
Oh yeah,
I loved her. But
why don't you show me how?
What is great about her is that she was also in The Big Easy, and she was also in
with Ellen Barkin,
The Cotton Club.
Oh,
she was Frances.
But is she the barbecue type?
She was what?
She was Frances. What's his name? Dutch's wife.
Oh, that was. Okay. I
Who
thought
wrote
so. I thought she
in
was
gangster and the
It is so
crossword
weird
puzzle.
that this is. It's so weird. This is even from the same people who brought us the Cotton Club. Just because this is so much more of a focused, tight movie. You know, like not perfect, but like so much better.
But apparently she was also in When Harry Met Sally and The Great Santini.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah. So
Oh, When Harry Met Sally. Yeah, that's the only movie where I don't want to
can't
saw
agree
Meg
with
Ryan
one thing
in half.
because
do what, Donnie?
go ahead.
Oh, what were we saying, Donnie?
No, please go ahead, Adrian.
Oh, I was just saying that When Harry Met Sally is the only movie where I don't want to saw Meg Ryan in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But I was gonna say one thing I can't agree with Nick Cage is that Rice Krispie treats are amazing.
They're really
Yeah,
good.
they really are.
Yeah.
I want to go get one right now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, how can you go to a makeout party without fucking Rice Krispie treats?
It's not gonna work.
And it's yet another Francis Ford Coppola movie. In fact, I'm going to say another Nicolas Cage movie with just a soupçon of racism.
Just a little
Just a
smidge.
little. Just a little.
And of course, it's another Francis Ford Coppola movie with a white dude playing with a black band as if it's an honor for them, for the black band to have him performing with them.
Yeah. You don't understand. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? You can act like a man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, if you listen carefully, when they're bringing him on stage, they say something like they introduce him as their dear friend.
And a very dear friend of mine. Well, that's another reason why I mentioned like this movie doesn't really aspire to any kind of social justice.
No, not at all.
Because it is showing 1960 and it's showing a glowy 1960. It's not pointing out any of the faults with it. Although I'd like to point out it has been pointed out that Back to the Future also doesn't really correct anything either.
No.
Since a white guy goes back in time, gives Chuck Berry the idea for his sound, and tells the black guy to run for mayor. He doesn't come up with it on his own.
Yeah.
And in that one, money also equals success. So
It's true.
you know, as fondly as we may remember these, it's like, oh, 1955, everything was perfect.
Yeah. I think also this movie inspired me for an idea for us. They did mention what is a lodge without hats, and I kind of feel like we need specialty
most
hats.
definitely.
But
yeah.
I got the hair. I can't cover it up. Come on. I actually just cut my hair, and it's looking fine.
He's got the hair. He's got the car.
I got the eyes. I got the teeth.
He's got the eyes.
I drive a Ford Focus that's 11 years old. Yeah, I'm a man.
He's the lead singer. He's the man.
Linda, I thought you were the lead singer. If there's a band with dudes, the chick's always the lead singer, like Paramore.
Oh, that's true.
Come on. Wonder why love you like I do.
Also, I think we should give a shout out to one of the most true lines in this movie when a teenage Kathleen is drinking her dad's booze.
I probably did.
And is openly drunk. He's like, "Are you drinking?" She's like, "I had a tough day."
Yeah, you totally relate to that right there.
I
love her
laughed
for
because
this.
it was like the story of my life.
This is gonna
Because you had a bottle of bourbon, like, hey!
Me too.
No, that would be me
baby
too. It's
food.
like, holy fuck, right to the liquor. No, this is gonna sound bad, but one of the things that I related back to the whole bit with her going back to the parents, I'm like, oh fuck, this is like that episode of Charmed where Rose McGowan goes back in time to before her parents were killed.
You've been watching
And I'm like-
Charmed lately, haven't you?
Okay, so well, I go to a Planet Fitness and there's the TVs in fixed positions with the fixed channels. And so, basically, at that hour, at 4 a.m, my best bet is to go in front of the TNT TV with Charmed. If I get anything else, it'll be infomercials or news.
Now, are we talking like Shannon Doherty era,
No,
or
well, they're reruns. They show both. I see the Doherty, but between the two, I would much rather see Rose McGowan. I think she's really cool.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, she's like 21st century Betty Davis or something.
And she grew up in a Children of God.
You told me that, and that's weird as shit, man.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the movie.
Yeah, what's a lodge without
Yes,
hats?
please.
Yeah.
I actually have the movie running without sound here, and it's at that part where the guy's playing the mandolin, playing "Beautiful Dreamer."
Oh God. I'm
Charge
gonna be just like Fabian.
Why,
me.
Francis? Why do you
Charge
do this?
Feed me.
I also liked the quote, "You just have to think of men like houses and trade upward."
Right?
Let's not also forget, no more Jello for me, Mom.
Which
I gave
guess
up smoking a long time ago.
maybe it
Way to be,
informed.
V.I. Warshawski.
I was just thinking, like, maybe it informed her character from V.I. Warshawski, or maybe
Or House
War
of
of the
Cards.
Roses.
Oh dear.
Oh, I heart that.
Me too, so much. Danny DeVito, where you at?
Yeah, come back, Archad.
My favorite. Face
Oh,
Off. How could I'm sorry? What
Oh, are we there yet?
are we?
Oh, we're way.
Are we done yet? I just wanted to mention the 2 faked mirror shots.
Oh God, yes.
Did the illusion work for you?
No, not at all.
I think it was a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great idea, but like the first thing, I mean, because it's the opening sequence and the closing. They
It's
both
in
have those.
It works
fake
better
mirror
in the
shots.
closing one.
Yeah, definitely. But then with the first one, like it gives it away, and you know that it's a double.
They either needed to do a composite thing on that as like as an apology, or just have the body double be better rehearsed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she was more reactive than she should have been.
Or maybe just not move as much. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea though. Like that's I like that, but with Coppola, it's not necessarily about creating a perfect illusion. It's just about having that kind of artifice.
Yeah.
Because in One from the Heart, there's a lot of times you're watching a soundstage, but what a soundstage!
Yeah, just go with it. Eat some of my spaghetti. It'll be okay.
Some people drink the Kool-Aid. I ate the Coppola spaghetti.
Yeah, the only thing I felt was sad is the tender moment when they're embracing at the end of the movie and it starts to fade out is it was completely ruined by the fact that you can see Nick Cage's tidy whities in his very see-through
Seriously?
white
That's
pants.
how you make the kids.
Oh.
That's how they get born. Those are the virgin killer tidy whities.
Kids grinding.
I like that there are 2 children, but you don't see the son at all.
Yeah, I'm assuming if he existed at all, his scenes were cut, or he's older than Helen Hunt and went off and did stuff because it's been 25 years since they got married.
Yeah, maybe they were successful.
Well, I have a question for you guys. If
it was just Helen Hunt, she might have said, "Nah, fuck it," But that son, he's awesome.
Yeah. Are you kidding? He's a doctor and a lawyer.
Oh, I have a face-off suggestion.
A doctor at law.
Well,
But
what is your question?
my question is, if we could sort of Peggy Sue this whole movie, given it was so pivotal in Nick Cage's career, because it was the first one where he really started taking chances, like big chances with his character.
Oh, they're bigger than just shaving his chest hair.
Yeah, exactly.
And greasing his ass.
Or having teeth removed without anesthesia. But I mean, something that like I feel like he really took a gamble with this character, and a lot of people would not consider him for their movies because of what he did with the Charlie character. In fact, Francis Ford Coppola refused to work with him again. He wouldn't cast him again, which he says that, well, Nicolas Cage said that he regretted because he really wanted to be James Caan's son in Godfather 3 and felt that it would make more sense rather than Andy Garcia. And he really wanted to be in Dracula. So if you could
that would have been better if he'd played John Harker.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love Dracula. Like I
love Keanu
literally
Reeves,
wouldn't
man.
change anything about it. But like,
no,
that would have been good.
Yeah. I
mean,
love
as
Keanu
much
Reeves.
as I love Coppola, the '90s was pretty much the nail in the coffin for him.
But with all this considered, And we'll be going into it later in a future episode, but it was this character that brought him to Cher's attention, and she fought to get him in Moonstruck.
Well, that's part of why I was really looking forward to this one, because this is literally the turning point.
Yeah,
Well, also, she was in fucking Masks, so, I mean, her tastes aren't exactly pivotal.
I'm beautiful on the inside.
You're a fucking disgrace.
With Eric Stoltz, thank you very much.
We'll save that one for Stoltz cast.
Yeah. The Mask cast. But my question is, do you guys feel like if you could Peggy Sue this movie and his choice, do you think that he was better off having done it, or
are you saying
just
if
the
we
Pokey
could
voice?
Turn back time?
If we could
I
really didn't mean to hurt you.
I am just wearing electrical tape right now. Funny you should say that.
Naturally. Or your son plays electric guitar behind you.
I am actually recording this on a naval ship.
I hear you swim after those.
Girls gotta eat.
If we could turn back time on this, I would have cast Kevin Bacon as Charlie, and Dino De Laurentiis would have directed it.
Oh, shit.
Why Dino De Laurentiis?
Yeah. Because this is the ultimate continuation of King Kong Lives.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton. Kong's alive.
Yeah.
I'm
There we go.
Oh.
You know,
I think if he hadn't done the Pokey voice in this, like, actually that might have been a major detraction from the infamy that kept him going into the 90s.
Yeah.
Because if this had been just another role, Kathleen Turner would have outshined him.
That's true.
And it's possible that he would be like Brat Packers and like fade into obscurity in the 90s and just showing up in like made for cable movies like Cabin by the Lake.
Yeah, and I don't think that he would have been the
Left Behind.
Like, it wouldn't have mattered for him.
But I don't think that he would be the living meme that he is today.
No.
And the legend.
Well,
which would
this
be
is probably
good.
part of what got him Vampire's Kiss, you know.
Yeah. And I'm definitely looking forward to going to that. But I think I would say that I would have definitely kept Penny Marshall, because I mean, if it's a fucking female version of Back to the Future,
if you're gonna get a lady director, though, why not get Elaine May? Come on, Penny Marshall, there's better than her.
Excuse me,
Elaine
sir?
May doesn't get enough love. I'm just saying, like, everybody's like, Ishtar's really bad. It's like, really? Have you watched like 3 other movies? Because you're gonna find a worse one.
Why don't we just Kathleen Kennedy this bullshit and talk about putting a female director in charge, and then put another crusty ass white guy in charge of making it, and then just push it out?
Okay, you have a point there, since it's still within a studio system with male producers.
Well, why don't we take that a step further? And first of all, don't besmirch my girl Penny Marshall. Rest in peace.
I just did.
And that's why you will die.
Look, I love Jumpin' Jack Flash. It's just that, what about her other films, though? When she's not working with Whoopi Goldberg,
Adrian,
she ain't got shit.
Linda's going to be doing creepy fingers outside your window and creeping in and debating smothering.
And I'm going to cut off your
face.
wang.
My wang? Well, yeah, good luck meeting me in the basement. I live in an apartment building.
The basement's what I call my van.
Meet me on the beach after the dance.
You know, honey, the basement ain't just a room under the house.
But I say, why don't we just take it a step further and do an all-female cast? We have Jodie Foster play Charlie. Well, of course.
I feel like Jodie Foster is Charlie, Dr. Lecter.
How about we just do like Eddie Murphy and just have one person playing all the parts? Just leave it all to Kathleen Turner.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna recast Charlie, if we're gonna do Face Off, why not Paul Rubens, who already has a funny voice?
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Like, I was thinking Pee Wee Herman the whole goddamn time.
Every time I heard Francis,
it's time for a Peggy Sue cartoon.
Oh yeah. Where are they
I got the
hosing him
teeth.
off?
I got the hair. I got the eyes. I'm the lead singer.
Oh, he's
Hey,
a
speaking of the
child
basement,
molester. Oh.
You're a child molester. What are you talking about Pee-wee for? What?
He was cleared of that, thank
Yeah,
you.
he just jerked off in a porno theater like you oughta.
He has a
Yeah, just eat some spaghetti.
He has a
Have
bunch
have
of
some spaghetti.
he has a bunch of quote unquote art of like little naked boys.
That's Jared from Subway. You're getting confused again. We talked about this. One creepy looking guy is Jared from Subway. The other one's Paul Rubens. Different people.
All right. I guess we'll talk about that on our Deadwood cast because he was also accused of holding, I think it was a 13-year-old boy against his will with Principal Rooney from
I
Ferris
think
Bueller.
I think it should be noted that Deadwood cast to be based off the HBO series Deadwood, not about pedophiles that are now with Deadwood.
Oh. Them pedophiles.
Moving right along.
Hey, how many times more do we say pedophile before you have to put the trigger warning tag on this one?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Oh, let's not. Let's just eat the spaghetti.
Yeah,
Eat more
everybody
spaghetti.
out there, just have some spaghetti
Have some
with
spaghetti.
some of those
y'all.
meatballs.
Pasta fagoo, pasta fuck you.
I don't drink wine though. Is there like an Italian liqueur I could be having?
I think you'd like port.
Yeah.
Or you could just put NyQuil in a wine glass and call it good.
That makes it more classy.
It's called the Cosby. Would you like a little codeine with that?
Speaking of Jared from Subway.
All right, which one of you want to make that video segment for the YouTube episode? So, Adrian, what's your dream cast here? Oh, you said that you wanted
Well, yeah, I suggested
Elaine.
Pee-wee, Paul Rubens, maybe. Failing that, Carl Weathers.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, wow.
Action fucking Jackson. Don't
As
question it.
Peggy Sue.
That's right. I'm going back in time, baby. And then Charlie's played by Vanity, and she's like, "I gone cold turkey. You can have me on Thanksgiving." And he says, "Can I have you a little sooner?" And then, of course, Craig T. Nelson as her dad.
Oh God,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Complete movie.
Oh, I'm already hot for it. But that I'm glad that they didn't keep the Goots in there, or they didn't give him the
that
role.
was good.
No, I was gonna say because between Kathleen Turner and the Goots, both of them in one movie, like nobody could pay attention to the dialogue
just
because
too
everybody would be
powerful.
splooshing all over the goddamn place.
God
Too
damn.
sexy. Too sexy.
Did you guys ever see that Now You See Him Invisible Spy movie that he did? That was done in 3D.
Defending your life?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I know. Can't say I have.
This is not a Gutenberg cast.
If there's any
Goots
justice in
cast.
this world, there won't be one.
So, what sort of
He's just
cagey
lucky he's not
wisdom?
Robert Hayes.
Can you guys find?
Cagey wisdoms. We do have a good lesson. From Charlie. Like objectively, it's like, you may make mistakes, but just take inventory and remember to apologize. That you
And stay away from
I
penis.
really like
and
that.
that the penis stay away from it.
His wang.
Why?
The thrill hammer.
you mean intercourse?
Lucky Chucky.
Well, we're not married, Peggy Sue.
I'd say that he taught us all that you should give up on your dreams if it means getting the woman that you want.
Also, fortune cookies are bad for you. Just smash them with a hammer. Don't eat them.
I'm kind of offended that you all haven't mentioned his glorious plan, like a 4-year glorious
To break up
plan.
and get back together.
Yes, break up with your girlfriend, sleep around to try before you buy, and then settle down and get married with each other.
Did you just make a reference to Gloria's 5-year plan from The Boys?
We do not speak of warrior
I
plan.
love sausage.
This reminds me of a little track by Rucka Rucka Ali called Russia's Gay.
Also, I think you should all join lodges because they will help you to travel through time. It's what they do.
Yeah, but once every 600 years, though. Like,
Yeah.
It's a long
well,
way.
you know, there's a
And
lot
if
of
it-
conspiracy theories about the Freemasons, so maybe when we drink the blood of the virgins we abduct, you know, it'll make us live that 600 years.
Once we get into National Treasure, we're going to do a 2-part episode
Oh,
on
fuck
that.
yeah. And we're definitely going to need hats for that.
National
Yes.
Treasure, you can walk back to back with Johnny Depp's In Hell.
Or not.
From Hell.
Sure.
From Hell, rather.
I was going to
In
say.
Hell was the Van Damme movie. Sorry. And people
We'll
at
leave
home,
that for
even if you
our
love Van
Van Damme
Damme as
cast.
I do not watch Van Damme in Hell by Ringo Lam. Just don't do it. Life's too short.
I'd say do it.
I agree with that.
I say do it.
Because someone is just going to
That's
see
a
the world
guy
burn.
line, Peggy Sue.
Because I am a woman humiliator.
You are a
But-
woman.
Honestly, I feel that the real cagey wisdom here is that he really should have just let her be a part of his dream plans and not taken it out on her when it failed. And she shouldn't have put the
Yeah.
pressure of her disappointment with lost opportunities on him.
The odd thing is that his
Yeah,
character
they
is
were both
having to
horrible
adjust
people.
to and apologize for things that he hasn't done yet and doesn't realize.
Yeah.
You know, which is why this is really a comedy. In case you were confused.
I don't know any Janets.
I'll be there for the children. I'm proposing to you now. I don't know how you got that still, but good God.
Oh yeah, that
Of
was
him in
just
scene,
sheer
like
luck.
with his eyes just half closed and his teeth like they are in this one. I'm like, oh my God,
His
kill him with
buck
fire.
teeth. Yeah, it's definitely going to be on the YouTube and
Oh my
the
God.
website.
Oh yeah. Viewers at home, we are now on YouTube. You should go like and subscribe on there.
Yes, and where can they find us?
You
What are we whoring?
Adrian's next meal.
Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you like us, and visit our merch store and pay us on our Patreon.
You can
Well, I do
find.
have
Now
that
on
Patreon.
YouTube.
Remember, you can find Cage's Kiss on Facebook and on Twitter at Cage's Kiss. You can visit our website at cageskiss.com. You can write to us at cageskiss@gmail.com. And please listen, follow, rate, and review Cage's Kiss on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called today, Stitcher, Spotify, and YouTube. And we do value feedback. And
And we want you to flame us a little bit too. you got
Adrian
that
wants
in
you to
you.
flame him a little bit.
Well, it's because I'm flaming.
You're gay. I get it. I'm in on the joke.
No
He can shade it, but
shirtless
you
Cage
can't.
this week, and somehow I'm still fine with it.
But really, we're just starting out. We could really use your help, feedback, positive reviews, negative reviews. I don't give a fuck. Just do it, please, please, please,
Don't
please.
give a fuck.
And Donnie, what you got?
I got 2 turntables and a what the fuck.
Oh, what's that?
I am still not the boy who blew on Twitter, but I am Unreal Goals. If
Now
you
you're the Blue
really wish to
Flash.
follow me, I'm just not a social butterfly. And yeah, Instagram, Stilgar the Twi'lek, and Boone's Farm is a very tasty beverage.
Blue Hawaii. You
Real?
got to get that one. Yeah. Somebody with an internet presence. I'm just gonna whore my DeviantArt some more here. You know, you can find me Leo the Fox, all run together, all lowercase, on DeviantArt.com. You could see those 3,000 artworks I got posted, and maybe one of them won't offend you so terribly.
Donnie,
And
I
I'm
have
also on
some
YouTube.
great
S.A.A.
news.
Smith.
I'm so sorry.
Great news about how he has risen.
Have you heard? The name, the Twitter handle, the boy who blew, totally available.
All right. Well.
So find Donnie at the boy who blew.
You know, the sequel to Peggy Sue Got Married is where Cage flies around the earth and spins it backwards to remove the infidelity from having happened.
With the help of his nerdy friend from high school, with a kite.
With a kite and
Cage Superman.
pantyhose. Well, if that's all we've got, we'll be seeing you next week, or you'll be hearing from us, whatever, next week.
Your nightmares.
Oh, you'll see us in
Stay
your
tuned.
fucking dreams.
With our, at least one of my favorite movies of all time, Raising Arizona.
Oh yeah, Coen Brothers. It's about
Until
fucking
then,
time.
bye. Bye.
Bye.
The girl's gone. Let's play cards.
This is your Cage Kiss Off.
Cage, 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 peach. I could eat a peach for hours. Please.